Good evening, Aaron. Yes, it is this latest renewal in another grudge match in the National Rugby League, and this man will be at the forefront for the Melbourne Storm. Jesse Bromwich looking for his 150th victory in the NRL and his 210th game. It's an amazing individual winning strike rate of just under 72%. The Sharks have Josh Dugan available to them tonight, which is a handy inclusion given the debilitating injury toll. And Billy Slater, this young man, he lit up PointsBet Stadium last time against the Panthers. He'll be hoping to replicate that this evening.
Yeah, you're not wrong. He's only scored one try, Bronson Xerri, but wasn't it some sort of try? And he's got his hands full tonight coming up against Will Chambers. It's a great matchup. He's obviously got a lot of talent, the young man, and he's only one of very few players in the Sharks lineup with limited experience, but watch for him to get a little bit of early ball tonight.
Still 18 years of age, Bronson Xerri. He's running for an average 140 metres per game in his first NRL season. So the Sharks with victory in just one of their last 4 games against the Melbourne Storm, who are hoping to make it 7 wins from 8 games for just the 6th time in their history as a club. 7 from 8 to start the season would be an amazing start for the Storm. Friday night footy from Cronulla, and there's the man that we highlighted, the New Zealand Test prop Jesse Bromwich, running back into Andrew Fafita. There's plenty of representative experience up front for both of these teams. Dale Finucane, oh hang on, now Matt Pryor has got a burner here it looks like. That'd be best case scenario. He's on his haunches with the trainer. He's going to try and soldier on. We need to keep a close eye on him, because when you consider Cronulla are already missing Wade Graham and Aaron Woods from their regular starting pack, to lose Pryor would be big. Bromwich now with a solid run over the halfway. And they get to tackle number 5, and Cameron Smith linking up with Munster with his first kick of the night. Dugan at fullback. Running back to be met by Finucane and Slater, and Christian Welsh starting again this evening in jumper 15. And there you go, an early mistake. It's Aaron Gray, who hasn't made an NRL appearance since round 2 last year.
Okay, clock's on. Thanks, Rick. No worries, mate.
And this will be a very early test.
Well, that's not what you want for your first touch, is it, back in the top grade? Just took off his eyes off the ball a little bit and gives the Melbourne Storm perfect opportunity. Billy, from a scrum this early in the game, would they be looking for something special or just ease into their work?
Yeah, I think they'll be quite patient with their first set, but scrums are opportunities, and Cameron Munster looks like coming down this left-hand side here against 2 defenders.
He's got it now. He's up against Kyle Flanagan, who plays his second NRL game this year. He made the tackle, the young 5'8" as he is tonight. Shocking ball out of dummy half, picked up and promoted on by Smith to Finucane now. And he's 11 out. He's right in the middle of the park. He's tackled by Jaden Brayley. Smith goes left, finds Jesse Bromwich out to Munster, tries to straighten, but Bronson Xerri with a good read in defence. And then Jaden Brayley along with Pryor, who seems to have recovered okay for the moment. Welsh with a run. Drag back by a defiant Paul Gallen along with Pryor. Smith gives it away to Croft for Police Kafusi. That's a very good one-on-one tackle. Chad Townsend responsible for it. Kafusi a couple out from the line. Smith gives it away. Croft tries to put a boot on it, and that's good defensive resolve there by the Sharks. They tackled their way out of trouble.
Well, they were aggressive. They were off their line very quickly, virtually on every play. And as soon as the second pair of hands got the hands on the ball, they were into them. What a hustle and bustle off their own goal line.
When teams come here to Cronulla, they know they're in a tussle. They come in nervous. Some leave with the points, but they all leave battered and bruised. That's the Cronulla way of playing. And this man, Paul Gallen, has been at the forefront of that for many years. Plays his 158th NRL match on this ground tonight. Most careers don't go that long. Played by Kurt Capel, and back now for Flanagan. Kicks high and long down to Jerome Hughes. And he'll give it for Josh Addo-Carr, who's blistering off the mark and really finds just stays in. He puts a foot on the line trying to get up and play it. Well, that was a bit clumsy.
I think you can do that, though.
That's Melbourne have stepped in.
If the tackle's been affected, I think you're right.
I thought,
Another scan.
I'll stand corrected, I thought that you could put your foot on the line when you're getting up to play the ball.
Yeah.
Okay, all on. Clock on. Scrum, mate.
Scrum, Dale.
Scrum.
Unless it's
Their ball,
changed.
their ball.
Bradley.
Make sure we get in here.
Well, as you can see, it was only through clumsiness that he put his foot out. It wasn't that slippery, and considering how much rain has been in Sydney today, the field's in really good condition. It may get slippery as the night goes on, but at the moment there's a bit of a breeze that's actually behind the Sharks. It's a northerly, which is very rare for this footy field, but outside that, beautiful night for footy.
There's been plenty of rain around Sydney today. Thankfully, it's dissipated. And Bronson Xerri tackle with it now. 35 out for Melbourne's line. Here's Gallen on a run. Kafusi rushing up. Plays with his brother, Patrick Kafusi. He'll come off the bench for Melbourne tonight. Felice, who gives away a penalty. They're going to tap and go. And Gallen gets up within 12 of the line. Played it to Jaden Brayley. And Flanagan met solidly by Christian Welsh on the 10-metre line. The Sharks have not scored a point in the first half in their last 3 games. Can they buck the trend right here after 5 minutes of footy? Brayley looked left, went right. Fafita one-on-one, what a tackle. Munster cut him down. Somehow, Brayley gives the ball away. It ends up with Addo-Carr. And they're going to tackle him in the end goal. He manages to slip a pass away to Munster. He's going to get back in the field of play.
Who drops it?
He dropped the ball, and now Fafita for the line. What is going on out there?
This is crazy time.
That is bizarre in the extreme. A ball away now for Morris, and Katoa unmarked. The Sharks will score the first try. And everyone in the joint's gobsmacked.
Well, you know what I say about this ground. Every time we come here, it's the Bermuda Triangle. Teams come here in great form and are never seen again. Look at this passage of play. Great tackle, Munster. Try saver on Fafita. Harvey Norman replay. They come down the short side and Addo-Carr ends up with it. Well, he's going to be caught in goal. No, Munster steals it off him and takes off the other way. Great play. They've got the ball. Boom. Now they don't. And the Sharks will now shift the ball to the left. And Sione Katoa opens the scoring.
Yeah, beautiful pass by Chad Townsend. Just creates a 2-on-1 with Josh Morris on the outside. The Storm actually did well to get their defence in order, but a beautiful pass by Chad Townsend created the overlap.
Sam Fido with the sideline tonight.
Yeah, that was a crazy passage of play there. Munster went from hero to villain really quick, but yeah, fantastic ball out wide there by the Sharks. And I thought Marion Sevi could have hung out there a little bit longer and maybe stopped that try, but I think we're in for a cracker tonight, guys.
Yes, well, Gus has got the rule book out. He's going to give us the rule on whether you can put your foot into touch. Do you want to wait till after the kick?
You'll have to read it, mate.
Oh, right.
The printing is too small.
Okay. Like I got my glasses this week. So, an amazing passage of play. And now Kyle Flanagan to put Cronulla 6-0 ahead. Like I said, they had not scored a point in the first half in their previous 3 games. And the side of their old nemesis, Melbourne, has ignited Cronulla. We shouldn't be surprised. Flanagan's got it at 6-0. Except when a player tackled in the field of play, steps in the touch as he regains his feet. In which case he should play the ball in the field. Yeah.
Time you run here, Will. Time back on.
The Sharks with the early advantage. 6-0 against Melbourne, and while, as I said, Cronulla's starts have been lethargic over the last 3 weeks, we should remember too that Melbourne have conceded starts in their last 4 games. In fact, they haven't scored a point in the opening 20 minutes in their last 4 games.
Yeah, it's certainly been an issue of the Melbourne Storm. We've been really impressed with the Sharks' structure and ball movement. They look really dangerous there in that set on the try line, the only time they've been down there.
Now attack to this right-hand side, and Makora. He's being talked about as a potential New Zealand Test player this year. And now Pryor with a bullocking run up beyond the halfway line. On the last tackle, the Sharks want a penalty. The crowd always boisterous here. Kyle Flanagan sends a high kick up, down for Jerome Hughes. Sends it away to Zuliasi Vunivalu, who's got a couple of tries in his last 2 games against the Sharks.
Yeah, well, according to the rule book, which is the rule book of 2015, and I doubt it's changed since then, a player is deemed to be in touch if he goes over the field of play, except if he's rising after having been tackled in the field of play. He's rising to play the ball, he touches the touchline. He will be allowed to play the ball in the field of play. So that's what I always thought it was. That's what the rule book says. He was tackled in the field of play and only touched the line while rising to play the ball.
Well, that's what he did.
He should be allowed to play the ball.
Over Brody Croft. Couple of bounces for Dugan. Plays with the feet and runs back with purpose into the man that kicked it. Now that's Kurt Capel with a little issue in back play. Aaron Gray takes possession of the ball safely there. And away now for Sherry. Finucane and Kenny Bromwich, the tacklers there. Gallen sends it away to Chad Townsend. And Capel's involved, so his leg looks like it's all right for the moment. Now Gallen. Tackled by his old nemesis, Cameron Smith. He'll get up and play it on 5. And Galloway for Townsend to send it up into the air. Jerome Hughes with the catch, and Kyle Flanagan's down there to tackle him.
Billy, can you get your mind around the slow starts for the Melbourne Storm this year? This is becoming more than a habit.
Yeah, it's definitely been an issue and something that the Storm are concentrating on, but sometimes in rugby league,
10 metres.
the more you focus on them, the worse they get. They get an opportunity now to attack the Cronulla Sharks, and got a lot of experience on the left-hand side of the field with the Melbourne Storm, with Munster and Kenny Bromwich and Will Chambers up against a real inexperienced edge. Look for them to come down this left-hand side.
Bromwich to his feet. Smith with a pass for Munster. He'll go over to Dale Finucane. Inside the 30 now. Jaden Brayley, the tackler. Smith skipping away. Gives it to Munster. And a good tap on play. Addo-Carr, the wing's open. He doesn't need an invitation, this man, with all his pace. And the Fox has got Melbourne on the board.
And Billy Slater predicted it. The experience of the left-hand attack up against the inexperienced defence of the Sharks. And all those experienced plays, Billy, played a hand in this nice try.
Yeah, well, every player plays their role, and you know, Will Chambers runs a decoy run and creates a 2-on-1 on the outside. And this is a typical Melbourne Storm attack. Everyone doing their job, attention to detail within the play, and they create the overlap.
Brad Fittler.
Yeah, before the game I spoke about the things Melbourne do better than anyone else. Well, one of them scored tries and he does them very well, Josh Addo-Carr, but the passing, every ball out in front, the fundamentals. This team perform week in, week out. You can just tell they don't get bored at training. Have a look at the passing out in front. Taps it on out in front on the Harvey Norman replay. Get it to the fastest man in the game, Josh Addo-Carr. And he's right in front of us, Cam Smith. He's about to line this up. Yeah, he's got the kicking boots. Billy, you might better help us. Why wasn't he kicking there for a couple of weeks?
I think he had a groin issue, maybe an adductor. And Brody Croft took over, was quite successful, and Cameron Munster had a few kicks, but
he's aiming a fair bit to the left there. Got aimed outside the left post. There's nothing flash about this bloke. Just 3 back, 3 to the right. Moves in. Ooh, off the upright.
So 6-4. Melbourne hitting back. And Smith back with the goal kicking duties. Hit the post with his first attempt. Or what's happening? False start.
Stay behind it.
You're right about this place. Strange things happen.
Yeah, he's hit the upright with his kick. False start on the kick. It's a Bermuda triangle. Did you like coming here, Billy?
Well, I played my first game here. I would have went anywhere to play my debut, but look, it's a great ground. I really enjoy these suburban grounds. The crowd's right on top of you, and they're very vocal down here in the Shire.
Was that a yes?
Yes, I like Cronulla.
In a couple of months' time, it won't be quite as pleasant. It'll be pouring rain, and the wind will be gusting up from the south. The Sharkies love it here. The colder and the wetter, the better for them. Play by Jesse Bromwich. And back now for Croft. He's just outside the 40. Lovely strike of the ball, that one. Down for the try scorer for Cronulla so far tonight, Sione Katoa. The earlier result, the clash of two of the Queensland teams up in Townsville, and North Queensland 28, Gold Coast Titans 14. But if the news for Queensland on the injury front hasn't been bad enough so far, they've lost Josh Maguire because of a suspected torn calf. I've seen some chatter about the possible extent of it. If it's a grade 1, it's 1 to 2 weeks generally, and if it's a grade 2, it could be anything up to 4. As Fafita now leads the competition in offloads again at this juncture of the season, and he's tackled here on the last play. Brayley for Flanagan. Down for the ever-safe Jerome Hughes now, and he runs back to be tackled by Townsend. Along with Jaden Brayley. Two local juniors combining in defence that time. Now Addo-Carr. Hit by Fafita and Gallen. 10 short of the halfway line. Now Chambers. One more try sends him to outright 4th on the list of leading try scorers for the Melbourne Storm. He's got 78 for the club. Inside ball from Finucane. It found Hughes, who was scouting around there in close, but they closed the gap on him. Here's the last play for a Croft high kick. It hasn't advanced the position too far. It's gone back off Unavalu. It's touched Murray and Sebi. It's still the last tackle. Beware the second kick. Munster, he's got it over the head of Gray. Ball's come out backwards, and then Kyle Flanagan has to whack it over the dead ball line.
They kept it alive after the ball came down on the right, and real experience here from Munster, real calmness. Other fellas could have mucked this up, but he sort of gets it, he sums it up very quickly and just pokes it into the corner. Addo-Carr retreated to get himself offside. That's really important. And he was able to put enough pressure on Gray to force a turnover there. They're going to get the ball back.
Get it in here.
But that's the attention to detail that Billy Slater talks about. The calmness of that man there with his kick. But Addo-Carr backing up to make sure...
Oh no, the shot clock's gone. How about that? They forgot about the restart clock. There'll be a penalty in front for Melbourne.
There's a ball here, mate.
No, there's not. Where?
In there.
Fucking, that's not his job.
Mate, you know where the clock is.
Oh, gee.
Let's go, lines there.
Taking the 2.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back and have another look at it.
You take the mark, Zig?
Yeah, mate.
But was there? So the shot clock has claimed a victim. Cronulla penalised right in front.
Well, the Sharks are saying there was no football, but there is actually, I think, a ball bucket behind the dead ball line where the spare football should be. I'll go down to Bradley Fittler about this. Is there a ball bucket, Bradley?
All right, here's the ball bucket right here. I reach in. There's the ball.
Ah, you found one.
There you go. Put it back.
Billy Slater, did you know about the ball bucket?
Well, I'm not sure the players know that rule. I certainly didn't know there was a bucket back there that you had to get the ball out of.
Might be new this year because the shot clock was reduced. Might have come in after you retired.
The shot clock was there last year as well. I don't think we've ever had this issue before.
Well, there's now a ball bucket. So when you have the line drop out, you run and get the ball from the bucket.
Time your run. When you're ready,
No,
Josh.
now.
There's a hole in the bucket.
Do you reckon if anyone would know about the ball bucket, it would be Billy Slater? He's only had 300 games. All right.
Well, we just showed it. There's a ball bucket. There's a ball in the bucket. There's also a drink there too.
Well, there's another one on the list of strange things that happen at Shark Park. So Welsh with it. Melbourne back at 6 points all now. Felice Kafusi running hard. Tackled by Townsend and Josh Morris. Play number 4. They're up to the halfway and over it now. Here's Marion Sevi, who's doing a good job to keep Curtis Scott out of this Melbourne Storm team at the moment. Fired back for Brody Croft. He bangs it up into there. Oh, Dugan. Oh, he never, ever looked a chance at catching that cleanly. He was a long way back and couldn't make ground to the ball.
Well, if you could bet in running, I'd have backed him out. He absolutely showed no confidence whatsoever. I've backed him out right about now. You could just tell. The feet. Oh, dear. He probably catches 1,000 of those at training every week.
Yeah, sometimes those awkward kicks are the hardest to catch. They're in the middle of nowhere. People coming back into your space. Munster's on the right-hand side, got the overlap again.
So Munster, Kasebi. See if Melbourne can capitalise on another Sharks error. Of a different variety this time. Welsh up into Pryor and Gallen, 8 out from the line. They got Croft station right. They got Munster in behind the play left. Bromwich with a short pass. Jesse to Kenny, he's coughed the ball up. Penalty.
Okay, Benny.
Not quick.
Wow.
Kyle Flanagan. That's you, Kyle.
Billy, when they're playing the ball within 10 metres of the try line in attacking situations like that, does it change the way you play if you're that close to the try line compared to outside that 10 metres?
Yeah, defence are much more aggressive. They get off the line. You've got to get your depth right. They're the Bromwich boys combining.
Here they are again, well, one of them at least. Oh, Jesse reaches out. And they're going to go to the bunker and see whether he's forced it. Now, Melbourne have come from everywhere. They're getting right around him, thinking he might have scored.
I have a try.
I think he scored it, right?
He grounds that ball cleanly.
Yeah, really smart by Jesse Bromwich. He picked up his brother and Kenny just the play before and goes to the line with the same play. Does he get it down? Ooh.
I think he's got a little finger on the ball here. I think that's fine. It hurt his shoulder because he's got to reach back in an awkward way. I think from front on he's...
Jesse Bromwich grounds the ball on the in goal. We have a decision.
He was able to keep a finger on the ball. It's a rather soft one. As Billy said, like the previous play, he picked up his brother and put him into a half hole. They were lucky enough to get the penalty for offside. This time a little bit of a show and go close to the line, and he just muscles his way to the try line. This is the first time. You see her on the try line here. They're in front, they don't retreat. They don't retreat. Now they're off and gone, so that's offside. He picks up and Kenny drops the ball, so they get the advantage of the penalty. Now, same play, he'll go to the line and just muscles his own way. Harvey Norman replay. Nice work by the experienced front rower.
Sam Thaiday.
What I liked about that is they went the same play twice. They tried to knock down the door the first time. Didn't happen. They got the penalty. They went there again. Big Jesse goes over. And just to confirm, we've had a chat with everyone down here. The bucket was there at the start of last year, and there's always balls in it.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Sam. Smith kicks it, it's 12-6. Melbourne conceded first, but they've hit back with back-to-back tries to lead 12-6. They've won 9 of their last 11 away from home, this Melbourne Storm outfit. And an imposing place to come and play here in Cronulla. And they withstood the early assault. And Jesse Bromwich and Dale Finucane, who seems to be perennially up the top of the hard work index in under 13. And Andrew Fafita there as well for Cronulla.
Well, they epitomise the Melbourne Storm. We talk about their clinical attack, their crispness and the quality of their plays. But the Melbourne Storm ethos is all about effort. Effort on every play and just doing everything to the best of your ability. And those two players typify that. I don't think I've ever seen a Melbourne Storm player relax on a play. He's giving it 100% every time, which means he's doing it in training every time.
Well, nice little play there from Croft. They rushed up and he just kept his nerve, ducked in between the defence, put a kick through, and it's perfectly weighted. Can Dugan get back? Oh, he's going to be bundled over.
In touch, mate. All right.
Well, the last couple of minutes haven't been good for Josh Dugan.
What about the corner? Josh, all right?
He was probably a little slow when Adarko got the overlap on the outside. Then he's dropped a bomb, and Bromwich ran over the top of him to score a try. And now he was waiting. I don't think this ball was ever going to go dead. He was kind of hoping it was. And now he veers back towards the corner post, and he was always going to be in trouble.
Well, I think Suliasi Vunivalu was trying to put pressure on Josh Dugan, but he nearly gave him an opportunity to get into the field to play. It's a big set for Cronulla.
Yeah. Well, on reflection, it'd have been better hitting it dead because they would have got a goal line dropout. And instead, Melbourne with a full set of 6 right near the line. And there's Josh Adokari had Vunivalu on the outside of him, almost winger to winger there. Now Vunivalu inside the 10. The Sharks have just got to knock the back here from Nukin with a wild run. Taken by Nakora within a metre of the line. Smith goes to Munster, feeds Chambers. Sherry came in, leaves the winger open. Adokar's going to score another one.
No, this will be called back.
You've got to check this. Yeah, I believe it has because they've had one number put. You've got to check it starting no try.
Player in the defensive line.
Okay.
All right.
I think Cole Flanagan was impeded.
Yeah. It's Chids. Tackle 4. Have no try. Yeah, can you check the instruction of the player stopping in the line and affecting the defence, please?
Kenny Bromwich moves onto the outside shoulder of Chad Townsend and affects the decisions of the outside defenders. We have a decision.
Good call, Billy.
Yeah, players are smart these days. They know if they're impeded that if they stop, they'll get the call. And Cole knew that then. Right decision.
Just here.
Just on that, Billy, now they say that the player ran to the outside shoulder.
Andrew.
As a defender, you're not going to give him the inside shoulder, are you?
Andrew.
In that situation.
Well, it's up to Kenny Bromwich to get on the inside. You know, for them to stand on the outside, they're running that risk of what's happened here now.
Wait for the tap. Wait for the tap.
It's a big call for Cronulla. The corner running one out and getting crunched by Chambers and Welch. You heard that reverberate through the effects mics down sideline. Brad Fittler.
Yeah, something the referees were concentrating on earlier was not going to the video ref as much. I thought both referees had a great view of that, and we just wasted 2 minutes.
Now Dugan. Capel had to give himself up, and Dugan nearly did the same there. Otherwise, the Sharks would have been pinged for obstruction. They get a penalty, and that will get them out of their own half.
Well, they needed that, Cronulla. And positively, Chad Townsend plays on very quickly here.
The two halves combining. Flanagan goes out and finds Nakora, who gets rid of Munster before Chambers.
He's a good player, this kid.
Made the tackle there. Now Pryor. He gets a backhander away. Brayley's there. Chambers thinking one-on-one steal, but he makes the tackle in the end. And the Sharks' number 9 is 21 out from Melbourne's line. Here's Fafita with it. So he manufactures something. Not this time. Tackled by Welch and Finucane. In the centre of the field, Brayley for Flanagan. And now out for Gallen. The veteran drives the legs and he's within 6 metres of the line now. Here's Jaden Brayley. Here's Kyle Flanagan. Loops the ball away. It's out in front of Aaron Gray. He has to prop. He has to come back infield, and the defence was able to recover. Kick towards the in goal by Bronson Sherry, and it's well there.
Go to the 30. Watch it. Jerome's running.
That was a beautiful pass by Kyle Flanagan. Thought Aaron Gray could run onto that and score in the corner. He's got great vision.
Marion Sebi breaks inside Cronulla's half, and it's a 7-tackle set, this one, so that's only 2 tackles exhausted. Now Big Nelson asks for Solomona off the bench. What a handful to encounter. The back period of the first half. On the 30, Munster with that traditional goose step, and then a pass which the crowd thought and the Sharks thought was forward, but the referees didn't agree. Munster first receiver. Cameron Smith second receiver. Out now for Croft. Sends it away for Hughes. He's going to put boot to ball. Vunivalu's on a chase, and Katoa with the pace to get back and send it out.
Yeah, that's a lovely kick. There's only upside there. You're either going to score a try or get a repeat set. You've got the defence standing still or coming up a little bit. Fullback out of position. Fullback recognises it. Just pokes it in behind. Now, there's only 2 things can happen. Vunivalu's going to win the race and score, or he's going to force his winger to run it dead. Watch out for the shot clock.
Where is it?
I don't know.
There it is, 10 seconds. Oh, they're well inside.
Well, they found the ball bucket.
And Tui Kamakamitha's gone onto the field to replace Jesse Bromwich. Oh, Finucane. Steamroll Jack Williams. Plays it inside the 20. Smith, Croft, lovely ball on. And Kafusi rolled away from Kurt Capel's tackle and stopped 7 out. Can Melbourne tackle him again here? They look likely. Kamakamitha 5 metres short. Brayley the tackler. That's the 4th play. Smith's going to go right. Finds Brodie Croft. Another one towards the in goal. The Sharks play at it, and they're going to have to ground it. There'll be another set of 6 coming.
Hold it, hold it.
Benny, watch him quick.
Now Townsend looking for a really quick dropout.
Time to run. Be ready for it.
He decides against it, and he'll take up the clock.
Okay. Everyone, they get a goal on. We've got to be ready for it.
Yeah. Just make sure you ask Case and Buck if they're in position to do that.
Kick.
They're going to go short. And they might have found the wrong bloke to kick short to. Suliasi Vunivalu. Got shelling peas for him. Gives it back to Marion Sebi. And the Sharks look like they're in a bit of strife here. 21 out. Big Nelson Asava Solomona. Strides up to the 10-metre line where he's met by Fafita, but they can't put him on the ground, so he can play it quickly. The ball will come away through the hands of Munster and now to Hughes and now to Chambers. Ball's gone behind Adokar and over the sideline.
Yeah, nicely handled here. The Cronulla right-hand defence, inexperience, has been under a lot of pressure. They've run plenty of plays at them. But this time they get it right. They keep their spacings. They all move at the same speed in the same direction. And they're able to put pressure on the players on the outside. That's well read.
He's made some good decisions tonight, Bronson Xerri. He's come out and got Cameron Munster. He got Josh Adokar off a scrum, and he changes the speed when he goes at Will Chambers to put him under pressure. And he's only 18 years old, but he's matching the old timer tonight.
A reminder about Magic Round. One round, one ground. 16 teams, 8 games. It's next weekend in Brisbane. Every game to be played at Suncorp Stadium. It is a round not to be missed. You can get your tickets today. NRL.com/tickets. Gallen tackled by his opposite number in Dale Finucane. Townsend out for Kurt Capel. Cronulla average in the last 20 matches against Melbourne, only 10 points in attack. And they're not going to score any points with clunky play like that. They've turned it over again.
Yeah, they'll get the feed though. I think this was first knocked down by a Melbourne Storm player.
Okay.
How we going, mate? Okay, clock's on.
Referee asking how he's going.
On that scrum. Thanks, mate.
Looks a little offload there, and Munster gets a hand to the ball.
Yeah.
They're traditionally like this, the Sharks. They look gone at times, but they just hang in there. They're pretty gritty. And they can bounce back with a try of their own.
Bronson Xerri tackled by Will Chambers. 18-year-old against 30-year-old. Now Jason Bakuya brings plenty of experience to the Cronulla side off the bench. To Jack Williams now. Tackled by Nelson Asava Solomona and Tui Kamitha. Ball speed away from Brayley to Flanagan. Away to Townsend. And Dugan joins in. For Josh Morris, who has 7 line breaks in the season, amongst the top 3 in the league in that area. The wily old customer. And now Braden Ueli with it. 15 out. Townsend thought about a kick. He's going to let Flanagan roll one through. Nakoro's going to chase it. And Adokar, he is going to be held in the in goal.
Yeah, nice play. I never felt the Melbourne Storm were threatened throughout that set of 6, but a nice 5th tackle option gives the Sharks an opportunity to come back again. Have they traditionally troubled you in certain areas of the field, Billy, over the years?
Well, I think Cronulla have been a real gritty side that just hang in there and don't give you too much. Cole Flanagan's been ultra impressive tonight. He's taken control of the kicking game. Chad Townsend's a great kicker in general play. A lot of confidence in Cole Flanagan to give him the reins in that department.
Oh, Ueli away for Dugan. That's the 30-metre line. And here goes Jack Williams, who we've seen throws plenty of oomph into his work. He's 21 out. He's in the middle of the park now. Brayley scampers away to Dugan into first receiver. A pass now for Capewell. He's 9 short of the line. Josh Morris dummy half. Ball for Flanagan. For Williams again. Straightens off the left foot. Cameron Smith's got him. And Bromwich and Kamitha there to help as well. They've exhausted 4 tackles. It'll come away for Flanagan to roll it in. They're giving chase. He's going to score. Brenton Nakora.
I'm happy, Benny.
They've got a kick to lock us up.
Well, I just spoke about the confidence of Kyle Flanagan, and it's his kicking game. He's done the majority of it, and the confidence to see that Jerome Hughes, the Melbourne Storm fullback's on the right-hand side of the field, and just puts it in behind the line for Britt Nakora, who's having a great season himself. You see here on the Harvey Norman replay, great eyes-up football. Britt Nakora grabs a 4-pointer.
He's a good kid, this kid. Been very impressed with him. Coming through lower grades, but his time in first grade has been quite forceful. Coach is celebrating. They brought them up off the line. Beautiful little kick in behind. And Nakora muscles his way through the defence to get there. Brad Fittler.
Yeah, he's normally combined with Sean Johnson. He's a great job over there on the right end, Sean Johnson. Have a look how Kyle Flanagan goes straight first. That is the key there. And what it doesn't allow is the Melbourne Storm defence to slide straight away. He does a great job. He catches the ball. His first couple of steps are forward, and then he moves sideways, which keeps the Melbourne defence straight, which opens up those holes amongst the tight defenders. There'll be a nice half a footy. He kicks this and they go in 12 all.
Well, you made the point there, Gus, that at times Cronulla looked gone, and they were under enormous duress defending their own end of the field. They've gone up and scored a try, and now Flanagan stabs it over to make it 12 apiece.
Time you're running.
There's a try
Time
scorer,
back on.
Britt Nakora, in his 7th NRL game, and there's been a lot of conjecture this week, a fair bit of publicity surrounding the potential for him to even play for New Zealand this year, Gus.
Well, he's a prospect. Wouldn't put it beyond him. He plays above his years, actually. It's a tough position to play now, those edge forwards. A lot of decisions to make in defence and hard lines to run in attack. He does it all really well.
Here's Braden Ueli. So a bit more than 3 minutes until half time, and Cronulla, despite missing something around 750 games of NRL experience, are locked up at 12 all with a team that's only lost one game this year.
It's a Bermuda Triangle, man.
There's a bit of salary cap sitting in the stands there.
Here they go again.
Here's Capewell down the left-hand edge, over the halfway, tackled by Sebi and Croft. They mightn't be done in the half just yet here, the Sharkies. To Bakuya now. Held by Kenny Bromwich. Smith there too. Here's the last. Away for Townsend. A high kick up towards Vunivalu. Oh, he had his back turned, Vunivalu, instead of thinking about catching it. And Jerome Hughes has got the ball and has dragged back to the in goal.
Well, was he even watching where the ball was? It looked to me like he was under it and was going to take it. And then all of a sudden, he was looking for someone else. Let's have a look here. He's looking, now he's looking at the fullback, now he's looking at the fullback, he's not watching the ball. Did that come off him or Morris?
He's only thinking about playing the escort role here. And the ball nearly lands on his head.
Cameron!
Crikey.
Gee.
Well, there's a real chance now for the young Sharks.
Ueli with the first run. 30 out from the line. Just inside the 30, actually. 90 seconds until half-time. Kyle Flanagan. Jason Bakuya. Tackled near the 20. Bromwich and Smith, the defenders. Jaden Brayley skips away, goes to Nakora, who spilt it. That was a difficult assignment.
Yeah, just a little bit too much out of dummy half here, Brayley. I like him. I like both the Brayleys.
Clock's on.
They're adventurous and
Clock's
keen.
running.
Hello, girls. Having a good night at the footy. 3 Shire girls having a night out on the town.
Okay, time off. Scrum clock's still running though. Make sure we get our numbers sorted.
Wait till it's out here, Chad.
Heads in, Cronulla.
Well, we know this trend of Melbourne's in the last little while is to start
Stay in.
slowly.
Stay in, come back, out.
They're on par at 12 apiece at the moment, but once again, it hasn't been clinical Melbourne.
Well, they're way on top at 12-6. Had a try disallowed and went close another couple of times. Maybe just underestimated the fact that the Sharks could bite back. But it will appear we'll go to the break all locked up.
Kafusi with it, away now to Marion Sevi, who's tackled by Josh Morris. They're the only team in the NRL, this Cronulla outfit, that has a positive winning record against the Melbourne Storm since they met in the 2016 Grand Final. They've played 8 times since. The Sharks have won 5 of them, and they won 2 of the 3 they contested last year. As Munster skips away and he's tried to go for a field goal, which wouldn't have got through 3 sets of posts, and that will take us out for the first half. Thank you, Sam.
Yeah, well, that game plan and that mentality really suits this Cronulla side. Melbourne Storm are going to have to work hard for their points here.
So Cameron Smith resumes. And it'll come away to Braden Ueli, who's run with real determination since he was thrown into the game just before half-time. For Kurt Capel now. Tui Kamakamitha, the 16, made the tackle. And now for Jason Bakuya, who's spent a couple of games out of the top grade this year. He's been very much a mainstay of the Sharks team in recent seasons. For Nakora. Tackle on his 30-metre line. And Jack Williams is the man that they've pinpointed as taking over Paul Gallen's number 13 jumper next year, Jack. This one tumbles end over end for Jerome Hughes to pick it up. And Bradley down there to lead the chase with Bakuya. And Suliasi Vunivalu.
They're very bunched here, the Melbourne Storm, behind the play of the ball. They're not usually like that. At least they get a bit of width and hold a bit of shape on the outside to threaten the opposition, but very much just playing down the centre third of the field here, getting through their set.
Smith will kick himself on the last, and look at that.
In touch.
It's found touch by a matter of centimetres.
Okay, let's have it.
They've run a really good development program here, the Cronulla Sharks, over the last 4 or 5 years. They've had success in lower junior rep football, and it's good to see now players filtering through to the top grade. That's the product of your development programs, is transitioning it from junior football into senior football, playing against men and then being able to handle the NRL level. A lot of clubs that spend time and effort developing youngsters.
Well, if you're a Sharks fan, statistically, this will give you great hope. They average 14 points per game in second halves this year, Cronulla. It's the second best attacking record in second halves in the comp. So they can finish games off. They're at 12 all here.
Yeah, well, it'll be a test. The Storm are the best second half team in the league. The majority of seasons that we see, so.
The best defensive team overall in the comp this year. Bakuya. Tackled 5 short of the halfway line by Finucane and Smith. No Brandon Smith tonight. He's out of the team because of injury. As Townsend has to hurry. A kick away and Addo-Carr's knocked it on.
Well, I'd have doubled my money here too. He was never going to catch that. Such a terrific player, but I don't know, his legs got crossed. He was half falling. The Bermuda Triangle, it gets them all. Look at this, he's sort of half jibbing and he's on his knees trying to make a catch. This ground just opens up and swallows them up. Never to be seen again.
Townsend now to Ueli. See if they could crash over here, Cronulla. This would be a massive start for them. Jaden Brayley away now to Flanagan, who goes to Townsend. He gives it out the back to Dugan. He's met by Crofts. There's a bit of a mismatch in size and power there, but the halfback did well to hang on before Kafusi came in to help. Josh Morris goes to dummy half. Ball sent away to Townsend. Now for Jack Williams. Dances with them, and he's put down 9 out from the line. They look like they're going to go to the left, the right-hand side, that is. And Bakuya is going to try and crash his way there. Gets up within a couple of the line. 4th tackle. Melbourne's defence so organised. How can they break them open? Flanagan got it away. Jaden Brayley now. He's met by Smith and Bromwich. This is the last tackle. Flanagan gives it away to Nakora. Busts out of the tackle. Got the ball away to Gray. But look at Melbourne's defence. They've got purple everywhere.
Yeah, good read by Josh Addo-Carr here too. He's got tackle 5 in his mind. There may be a grubber kick behind the line. And then he reads he's needed up in the line. And he's able just enough to put a pressure on. So he's hanging back for the kick. Now he recognises he gets up on Nakora. The ball went forward, crikey. They muscle Gray into touch anyway. Good defence by the Storm.
Yeah, strong set there by the Melbourne Storm, and some real intent with the line speed of Cameron Munster to shut the play down on tackle number 4.
Finucane again.
Is Brad Fittler down there? Oh, they've got a mistake.
It's a turnover, and Townsend tried to get the little legs pumping. They caught him, but they're only 19 out. Now Josh Morris is going to take off. He thought they were offside. That's what he wanted. He was thinking for a penalty there. Townsend shows it. Sweeps it out to Flanagan. Now Dugan. He's got Nakora there. He held onto it and got collared. It's a high tackle.
Tui Kamika. Just see what we get.
Hey there, 10-metre line, mate.
What do you do, Billy? Keep going or have a kick?
Oh. They might take the 2.
That's what the call from the sideline is. The coach wants the 2.
It's a big difference when you're in front. You can play confident, you can kick into the corners.
That's what they're going to do. They're going to aim for 2. So the Sharks can just stick their bibs in front here after 7 and a bit minutes of the second half. I don't know, many people anticipated, well, people that watched the game would have thought they'd be so close to Melbourne given their debilitating injury toll, but they've really hurried them up and made a nuisance of themselves again tonight.
Well,
Cronulla outfit.
They're about to go to the front.
Yeah.
Albeit, I think it was a very harsh penalty. Oh, he's missed it.
Gussie.
Sorry, Kyle. My apologies. But there's nothing wrong with this tackle. This is a ball and all, bang, straight in around the top.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. I can't believe that's a penalty. Bang. That's a ball player getting across the field, ball in his possession.
Didn't see one on Sunday up in Newcastle as well. Was it Barnett?
Yep. Anyway, no points from it, so a little bit of justice. The football gods were looking after the Storm.
Jack Williams now. Tackled to short of halfway for Ueli to go inside Melbourne territory. Jesse Bromwich limbering up on the sideline, getting ready to come back into the contest as Bakuya pivots as he gets to the defensive line to be tackled by Munster. Long pass from dummy half. Townsend, Dugan, leaves it to Katoa. A manhandle him and drag him back a couple of metres. Vunivalu and Sebi combining in defence. For Jaden Brayley. For Kyle Flanagan. And away now to Bronson Sherry. Played on 5. Flanagan sticks it up in the air. Josh Morris is giving chase. Vunivalu gets up above them all and takes it on the chest. Oh, penalty.
Okay, not quick.
Escort. Who is it, mate?
Chad, not quick.
Nothing quick.
Chad, it can't be quick.
Who?
It can't be quick. We don't want to do that.
Marion, it's you, mate.
They're saying a Sharks player was run off the ball, looking to get down and put pressure on this man, Vunivalu. It's Morris. And it looks as though
Marion
Sevi is backed into him.
Well, they're going to take the shot again, so a chance for Kyle Flanagan to cancel out the missed one.
Yeah, well, I'm declaring this one.
Well, it just puts the young, inexperienced Sharks players' minds at ease when they're in front. So if they can make it 14-12, they can play with a positive mindset, know that you don't have to chase any more points and really build pressure on the Melbourne Storm.
Well, they're not trying to play beyond themselves, are they, the Sharks? They've run the same pattern pretty much the whole night. You can see it in your sleep. So the coach isn't asking them to do anything they haven't trained for, or that they're not good at. They're just sticking to the one solid pattern, and they're just trying to frustrate the Melbourne Storm out of it. They're just letting Cronulla do its thing on the opposition. Come on, Kyle. Nice and steady, my boy.
Oh, that was an ugly one. Oh, I thought you'd done it twice. Chemist Warehouse Sunday Footy live from Bank West Stadium. The Eels will be desperate to bounce back from their defeat last weekend, but will face a tough task against the determined Dragons outfit. Eels Dragons. What a cracking game this will be. Live from 3 p.m. right here on the home of Rugby League.
When you're ready, Cameron.
14-12 Cronulla. Oh, Williams hit hard by Patrick Afusi in number 19 into the game.
And they've dominated the whole 11 minutes of this second half. The play's been all up this northern end of the field. Melbourne Storm haven't got a look in yet. Here we go.
Oh, Bakuya dumps it back. Dugan tried to force it away. Nicola scoops it up. Oh, get Bronson Sherry in some clear space if you can. They've only just got him.
Yeah, it's due to the errors that the Melbourne Storm are making. Josh Adokar to start with the bomb, and then Felice Kafusi releasing the pressure. They give away another penalty here.
What's the correct tap there? He's in front. He's in front.
Wait, he's in front of you.
The Bermuda Triangle, it's such a powerful force. Don't laugh at me, Matt. Happens every time. It happens every time.
I'm just worried about your comment when you said they disappear, never to be seen again.
Buses have disappeared in this area.
It's not good when you're trying to manage a salary cap, Gus. So Bakuya, look at the tails up here, Cronulla. Flanagan, away now for Ueli. .23 out from Melbourne's line. It comes to Flanagan. He goes out for Townsend. Now for Dugan. Shows it and steps off the right foot to be tackled by Munster and Bromwich. That's the 10-metre line. Tackle number 3. Jason Bakuya runs one out. He's met by Cameron Smith. And Kenny Bromwich there too. That's the line in front of him. The Cronulla crowd, they're right into this. Ueli! Yes, he's there!
Bucky, go first.
Is there an upset on the card? You betcha!
It's up and it's further than the in-goal.
He's been creeping out wide all night, Ueli, and it's just been building pressure after building pressure. And it's a big man on a small man. Ueli runs it, Brodie Croft's inside shoulder and too close to the line, the big man.
Like I said, it's pretty much been the same pattern. Every set of 6, every attacking set of 6, the same pattern. Across to the left, back to the middle, out to the right, across to the right, back to the middle, out to the left. But they're just running hard. And on that occasion, the Melbourne Storm just overread it a little bit. That's terrific play, Sam Thaiday.
Yeah, that is a classic forward on a smaller guy there. I think Felice Kafusi there, if he kept his feet, he could have helped Brodie Croft out a little bit more. But fantastic forward try there. Very happy for the big fella. Freddie?
Yeah, they all look dangerous. There's little combinations across their whole line. I think when you get these young blokes, that's what they want to do. They've got little combos around the ruck, and then there's combinations with the fullback out the back, and just forming these little combinations across the park, it makes them dangerous and really puts the defence under pressure.
That's the key, Brad. It's not the pattern that does it. You know, it gives your team direction and it gives them calmness and focus, but you've got to have those little combinations. You've got to have people feeling like they can be dangerous doing their thing in concert with their teammates around them. So this could give them an 8-point lead. I'm saying nothing.
Let's hope he strikes this one a bit better than the last one. Flanagan, important kick. Yep. Never looked like missing. Points to 12. Cronulla with the lead.
Been very impressive, haven't they? They were gritty the first half, but they're actually really impressive in the second half. They've outplayed the Storm.
Well, I spoke about the 2-point lead mindset for the young and experienced Sharks. 8 points just makes them feel a little bit taller, a little bit stronger, gives them a bit more belief.
What's Cameron Smith thinking here, Billy?
Well, firstly, he'll be looking to complete some sets. You know, the errors and the penalties and just releasing pressure. He'll be looking to build a bit of pressure. The 8 points won't worry him just yet.
He's Dugan. With his size and power, he's proving a handful. He's cut into the backfield. He's up to Melbourne's 40-metre line. He's made a couple of mistakes tonight, Josh Dugan, but he's running. Has troubled the Melbourne defence. Here's a kick from Townsend. Oh, Hughes, he had to balk at that. And they've pinned him 9 metres out from Melbourne's line.
Yeah, their legs are just turning over quicker. The crowd is right into this.
Josh Addo-Carr. I can tell you this is the first time since 2005 that the Sharks have scored more than 18 points in a match against Melbourne. It had been a run of 22 games before tonight. Here's Hughes. Tackled by Townsend. 4 metres out from the halfway line. Oh, trouble. Vunivalu's got to put a kick over the top. He's going to chase after it himself. He gets the bounce. Then rolls it through for Sevi, and Dugan attacks the footy, and he's got clear air in front of him. He gets up near the 40-metre line before he's whacked by Cameron Munster.
Well, that was a strange fifth tackle option there from the Storm, particularly coming out of trouble. They're just on tilt a little bit. Cameron Smith can't get control of the game. The people around him aren't allowing him to do his stuff.
Well, Cronulla are doing their stuff, and they're putting Melbourne off their game.
Capel, it's a bustling run. The crowd appreciate it as well. Short side now. Blake Brayley's into the game. Townsend nearly through. Only a desperate tackle by who was it? It was Marion said he stopped him, but they've given away a penalty for a second go. Townsend's in a bit of trouble here, though. Oh, and now we've got some back chat. Gee.
They're on tilt, the Melbourne Storm. The lights are flashing.
Yeah, what's happened to Townsend?
Is it a wrist?
Let's have a look. He comes down the short side.
Watch his left wrist.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, was it there?
That's Josh Morris.
He's got a bit of swelling on it.
Well, hopefully it's just jarred.
Oh,
look at that. That looks more like a contact injury than anything, doesn't it?
Might have got stood on.
Yeah. It's right in front of Brad down there on the sideline. Freddie, did you see anything there?
I think it's a contusion.
Oh, he trod on. There you go.
Oh, yuck.
Josh Morris trod on the back of his hand. You'll go back and Josh Morris's right foot comes down on the left hand of Chad Townsend. What's this?
He's got the long
Boom.
studs on too.
Gets him right there.
Oh.
And that hurts.
Well, he's come to life, Chad Townsend, in the last 5 or 6 minutes. He's really attacking this left-hand side of the field.
They're hungry here, the Sharks. They're not finished. They're not finished.
Kicking for touch. That's your mark. You're on it.
The Storm are nonplussed. And they're just being outpointed on every plate.
So Williams to Bakuya. He's on the 10-metre line. How important is this set of 6 in the context of the game? Blake Brayley shoots out of dummy half. Flanagan short pass. Charging onto it, Nakora. They got him. Kenny Bromwich with all his experience. Blake Brayley for Ueli, who scored his first try in the NRL a few moments ago. 5 short of the line. Here's Dugan. He's going to try his luck. He'll get a pass away, though. Kyle Flanagan. He's tackled by Munster and Kamikamitha. The crowd want a penalty. Munster lying all over the joint. Blake Brayley stabs it through. Bakuya chases. Felice Kafusi's there to cover.
I have no try.
Well, there's no celebration from the Sharks player.
Shit.
It's just whether or not the Sharks player has got his hand to the ball.
No try. Can you confirm that there's no grounding there and restart, please?
The key play here is how we restart this, whether Kafusi's knocked it dead or Bakuya might have got a hand on the ball. It comes off Bakuya last.
I think it comes off his shoulder, which would be a knock on.
Oh, gee. It looked like from where we were at real speed he grounded it, Felice Kafusi, but he did it.
No. But the restart's important.
No grounding from Felice Kafusi.
Now, Bakuya hits his arm there and he makes a play, actually touches it before it hits the ground.
And the ball contacts his ankle while he's in dead ball.
Oh, they're going to say Kafusi's knocked it dead.
Is he playing? Okay.
I would have sworn it came off Bakuya.
So what do we got, Chits?
They're saying that's not a knock on.
This way, mate.
And it's Kafusi that's made it dead.
Goal line drop out.
Right.
No touch.
Goal line drop out.
Well, more pressure for the Storm. I'm not feeling it, Billy. I just don't feel like they're going to get out of this.
Well, it's a really important period for the Melbourne Storm. They need to grit their teeth and hold on.
Yeah, I'm just.
Because if they don't, they'll find themselves
Keep going direct to him.
a margin that
Let's go, Cameron!
they can't reel in.
Well, they can't get back control of the game. The Sharks are just controlling it brilliantly. They're a champion team. And they've got out of so many sticky situations, but right at the moment, I'm not feeling it. It's all Sharks.
Williams tackled by Smith. And Jesse Bromwich. Blake Brayley scampers right, goes to Flanagan, turns it to the hard-running Nakora. Patrick Kafusi, Christian Welsh, the tacklers. 22 short of the Storm line. Bukuya for Townsend, and now for Capewell. 11 metres out. Blake Brayley sends it back to the right-hand side. Flanagan, and they've only just got him. It's Christian Welsh with an important tackle on Ueli. Fifth and last. Townsend gets in between and gives it to Dugan. He'll throw it on the boot. He'll get it as far as the in goal, but Hughes is waiting there and accepts it happily, and he'll get back to his own 10.
He's come to life, Josh Dugan, too, hasn't he? Had a very unhappy first half, but he's certainly thrown himself into his work in the second half. You consider, too, this Sharks lineup tonight. Players unavailable. Wade Graham, Matt Moylan, Aaron Woods, Sean Johnson, Josiah Feckie. That's quite a list there.
Yeah, and the performance is as important as the result here for the Cronulla Sharks.
Smith 40-20. Has he got enough on it? Oh, I think he does. What are they going to say? Is he saying just outside?
Pulled up short.
Oh, gee, that was close.
He hooked that back. That's what he was looking for. He was looking for a momentum changer.
Oh.
Normally he goes down the other side of the field, but this time he hooks it back. Gets a bit of run on the ball. And, yep.
Oh,
just before the 20-metre line.
Oh.
Bermuda Triangle. Nothing goes right for the visitors.
Look where it lands when it goes over the sideline. It's 3 metres in front of the 20. So close. Here's the VB Hard Work Index. Dale Finucane. He's always up there. Jason Bukuya started off the bench, racking up some big numbers in the index, and Kurt Capewell there as well.
Yeah, I was saying the performance here for the Sharks, especially the young guys, is really important. Get that belief. And you start filtering the Moylans and Sean Johnsons and Aaron Woods, Wade Graham into this team. They've got so much potential.
Well, what they are doing is building depth, aren't they? When they get those big names back, there's a second run of players who have had a crack at the NRL waiting to come up and get their shot. Townsend, beautifully weighted kick, here's across, but the chase is enthusiastic.
Great kick.
They're all down there in the line. Here they come. Look at this. Boom. It's a feeding frenzy.
Third tackle. They've only just gone past the 10-metre line. Now Munster's been given some room to move. What can Cameron Munster do? Can he manufacture a bit of magic? Croft with an inside pass. In the defence, it's angry defence. It's determined defence.
Well, it's a great kick chase set. And now there's a missed kick here. This goes nowhere. I'm not going to say it again. But that's just a great kick chase set. Sharks work down. Chad Townsend kicks to the corner. They pin the fullback. They get aggressive on the first couple of plays. And then they make sure they don't concede a penalty for the rest of the set of 6. Make Storm kick. And not even under pressure, Brady Croft's players run off the outside boot and it finds touch meekly. No threat to the Sharks.
Well, he's under scoreboard pressure. He's under pressure because his team can't get out of their own half of the field. You look at the Townsend kick. He's on the front foot. He looks like he's running downhill. Melbourne look like they're running uphill at the moment.
Well, you can put the sprinklers on at the southern end of the field. Play hasn't been down there.
Williams now. He's a determined young man, isn't he? 120 running metres already off the bench for Jack Williams. Penalty.
There it is.
Now if they want.
think they'll tap here.
They can think about two if they want to just gradually creep up. No, I think that they're full of confidence, aren't they?
Kick it out. They've got Melbourne Storm at their mercy here. They'll score again.
I'm just watching Andrew Fafita. He's just creeping out wide on this left-hand side. He was out there the whole set in the previous.
And again, it's with Williams. Here's Fafita. He's out where a traditional back rower would be. He's going to get it now off a pass from Townsend. He's going to power his way towards the line. 5 metres short of it. Felice Kafusi tackling in conjunction with Kenny Bromwich. Blake Brayley sends it out for Flanagan. Oh, he loops one up, and there's a changeover.
Well, surely knocks it on.
Okay. Yeah, the whistle's blown. Could a Shark knock it on first into Melbourne or vice versa? There you go.
Well, Chambers is saying that the Shark touched it first, but
All up.
you can't argue with the triangle. It'll sort you out. There it is, floats it in behind. It was a dangerous pass. Yeah, well, Nakora gets hold of that.
Yeah.
It's a big call.
Yeah.
Chambers doesn't even touch it.
They're packing in. 5 seconds. Quick.
Melbourne need to move on from that decision really quick.
The triangle even gets the referees at time.
You thought you got a camera angle there for a second. Then I realised what you meant. So Fafita, right in the middle of the ground. Blake Brayley gives it out now through the halves. They combine for Nakora to rampage onto the ball.
He's a beauty, isn't he? What a good player.
Blake Brayley goes backwards, then gives it to Bronson Sherry. Gee, they'll be happy if he can get over. Such a popular player here already at the Sharks. He stopped on the 10, Melbourne. They're defending for the ball game here. One more try and Cronulla just about have the game at their mercy. Here's Bakuya. There's no way through them just yet. Jack Williams ran hard straight into Welsh. Big collision of bodies.
They're running it.
Comes to Flanagan. He's going to step and he's not going to be able to get it away.
Go, mate, go.
Brave
Just let it
effort.
go there, Cam. Your ball here.
Yeah, good work for the Melbourne Storm. And good work by young Kyle Flanagan there. He could have panicked and tried to do something silly, but realised they've got the game on the scoreboard. It's not such a bad place to get tackled on your last play. But Melbourne had a penalty in the second half. I don't think they have.
He's had O'Carr with a very good run.
8-3 the penalties in favour of the home side.
What do you reckon? Smith another crack at a 40-20 early in the count.
I don't know that there's enough breeze down there to make that your biggest play. He's had that play.
Here's Hughes. They go away to Sevi. And Josh Morris, good defence.
Yeah, they read it well.
All the way to Smith, standing 2 passes wide. Goes to Munster on the wraparound now. Sizing up the defence. If the defence sizes Munster up even better, and they knock him down. Cameron Smith with a high one. Puts it up in the air for the chasers and Dugan. That's better. Good take.
I'm out when you're on the 10.
Well, the crowd's right into this now, the home crowd. They sense it. They're starting to believe the upset is on the cards.
Let him go. Aaron!
Josh Morris, good metres from him. 15 short of halfway. Sione Katoa with all of his pace. Got a couple short of the halfway line by Cameron Munster and Kafusi. Blake Brayley. Ball now for Pryor back into the game. And he drives the legs. They're motoring up the middle of the field.
Young and fit.
Chad Townsend goes high. Capel's trying to get a run through to put pressure on Hughes. And he takes it 11 out from his own line.
Well, Craig Bellamy's injected Ryan Pappenhausen. He's a noted fullback. Looks like he's playing in the middle of the field. He's got elite speed. Keep an eye on the fresh jersey out there.
Yep.
They can't get over halfway.
They're at the 40 now. Smith for Croft. There's Pappenhausen. Oh, half an opening.
Good work by Pryor. Close that down.
But Munster is going to stab one into the gap between winger and fullback. Dugan's there to get it.
Now we're up to 70th minute. Only 10 to go.
I feel if Melbourne can get the try, the 2 points won't be an issue.
Yeah.
The try's the hard one.
That's why Paul Gallen's there now. The skipper's experience will be invaluable here. Look at them run hard. They're hungry. It's Capewell. Now Blake Brayley spears it away for Katoa. Oh, what about that for footwork? He left Vunivalu clutching at thin air. Townsend waits it for the corner.
So what I'm feeling here, we're all waiting for the Melbourne Storm comeback, but I'm just not seeing it. And the way the Sharks are playing, the Sharks are not going to lose this. It'll be up to Melbourne to have to try and win it, and to do that, they're going to have to do it from their own end of the field. The Sharks are showing no signs of panicking their way to a loss here. In fact, anything, they're just growing in strength and confidence as we get down to the back end.
The coach is laughing, Gus.
Mate, they're in control. Look, if it wasn't the Melbourne Storm, you wouldn't even be thinking about a comeback, the way this game has flowed in the second half. They've totally dominated the 31 minutes since half-time.
Okay, scrum clock is off. Bend in.
And they've got the Storm on the ropes.
Get your hands in. Wait, Brody. Okay, hands in.
They don't need to knock them out. They just need to keep them on the ropes.
Ball release. Hold square.
He's Finucane. He wants to get away. He does. Smith's there. Now Pappenhausen. His role will be just to support the ball. Use his pace. Try and find a gap in and around the ruck. Munster breaks free. Here's Munster now. Dragged down from behind. They got a bit of impetus on this set now, Melbourne. Brody Croft back on the inside to Pappenhausen. They're looking for him against the tired, bigger men. Smith. Away from Munster again, goes to the line, sends it out to Hughes, now for Chambers, tap on Addo-Carr. Addo-Carr knocked over within 3 metres of the line. Ball comes out the back, Munster, he's going to send it up in the air towards Vunivalu. He's up against Katoa, he went early, Vunivalu, and the ball's going to bounce in, touch and goal.
Well, it all started from Dale Finucane, a little offload, and then Cameron Munster come to life. Line break. That's where the Storm are going to get out of it, if they are going to get out of this. Cameron Munster.
Well, that was their most promising passage of play for nearly an hour.
Nelson, careful. Nelson up now. Hold square.
Just over 7 minutes to go. An 8-point lead for the Sharks over the Storm. It's an amazing matchup, this, isn't it? When you consider the quality of player out for Cronulla, they know they get under Melbourne's claw, and even these young kids have come in and had belief. Gallen now. Runs hard into Cameron Smith. Plays it to Blake Brayley. Away for Andrew Fafita. Tackled around the legs by Pappenhausen. Oh, there's no one at dummy half. Had to rush in there. Brayley at the last minute. Now a high kick for Townsend. Josh Morris is going to tap it. Pryor's got it. Pryor now. He thought about kicking it, but then he said, no, I'm happy to take the tackle here. Oh, now what's there? Someone's reeling in back play. Someone's been taken out. Is that Kyle Flanagan?
Yeah, Kyle Flanagan was calling for a kick from Pryor. Pryor said, I don't have a licence to kick. It was taken away some time ago. So he just ran the ball, but Townsend, he's racing in to make for the kick. And Munster gives him a pull down. And
That's really tearing a bit, isn't it?
well, that's scoreboard pressure. We can't afford another score, and they're going to get another score.
It was a real experienced set. I think Paul Gallen had 2 hit-ups. Andrew Fafita had 2. Matt Pryor gets it on the last, in fear of giving the Melbourne Storm 7 tackles and an opportunity to get back into the match.
So there's no penalty
They're
here.
going to penalise them.
Okay.
So there's no penalty here.
Let's go, Dale. Play with the plays it.
Wow.
Is that the triangle?
That's the triangle.
Gee, that's odd.
Well, we've got 6 minutes.
Cronulla rushing up in defence. They're off the line fast. They don't want to give Melbourne a head here. Finucane steamrolled Capewell, who's come a bit gingerly away from that confrontation. They're up within 11 of the halfway line now. 3rd tackle, Melbourne. Brodie Croft for Cameron Smith, for Cameron Munster. Away from Pappenhausen, nice ball, good play. Here's Addo-Carr down the wing. He's got Dugan to beat. He steps inside. He's tackled by Kyle Flanagan, but it's right here, right now for Melbourne. 1 try, and we've got an epic finish coming up. Smith looking for someone, finds Croft, now for Kafusi. Penalty.
Okay, not
They get another set.
Do you take the 2?
Cam, it can't be quick. It's a 10-metre penalty.
They can score from anywhere.
Everyone side, 1, 2.
I think they'll tap.
Yeah, they want it. They want 6. They want to think about the 2 later, Billy.
They haven't been down here the whole game.
Here's Big Nelson. It's a backhander off for Smith, for Croft, for Kafusi. Oh, you reckon they're nervous now in Sharkland?
Well, it's the left-hand side they've been going to all night.
Smith skips away. Nelson. Good defence. Matt Pryor. Blake Brayley. Quick play the ball. Smith for Croft. They're going to switch and come back to the left now. Through Munster. He's going to give it up for Kenny Bromwich. Short pass. Pappenhausen scores.
Wow.
Got to finish.
Out of absolutely nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. The Melbourne Storm have come up with some magic. They come down the right-hand short side on the Harvey Norman replay. Brodie Croft said there's nothing here. He throws it back to the middle. Does really well here, Kenny Bromwich. And the man who's been put out there in the fresh jersey that Billy Slater alluded to comes up with the supporting play. Harvey Norman replay. That's a beauty for the Melbourne Storm.
His first career try, Ryan Pappenhausen, and it's one which has left the door open. 3 minutes 30 left in the game, and the Storm are going to be within a couple of points with Smith to convert from next to the posts. A reminder, Friday night knockoff has you covered post-match here from PointsBet Stadium. We'll chat to the stars from both teams. The 8th immortal Andrew Johns will run his eye over the moments that mattered. And Gus and Billy will reunite on the field following last week's handshake debacle. Friday night knockoff straight after full time, live here in Cronulla.
The handshake debacle.
That's what they're telling me.
Hasn't it gained some traction?
Well, you should never work with old silly people. That's what'll happen.
Been gun shy all week.
Have to try the high five next time, Billy.
3 minutes.
Time on.
3 minutes. They couldn't, could they?
They have before. Dale Finucane wanted to get an offload away, but Fafita was awake to it and wrapped up the ball. On their own 20-metre line. Brock's going to take them on. Blake Brayley with the tackle. In conjunction with Kurt Capewell. Inside 3 minutes now. The crowd set forward, trying anything to help their team get over the line. Asava Solomona, good run, look at this.
Going left again.
Smith runs away, gives it to Munster. The dummy's back on the inside, but then gives it to Bromwich. Goes back to Finucane. Nelson had to dive, good work. Got it back for Croft. Knock on!
Oh, he's saying he knocked this on.
Be careful. Be careful. Nelson. Okay.
Nelson's saying, what did you see?
You all right, Paul? Okay, clock's on. Come here.
Cameron Smith's trying to stop the clock. The ball comes out to Nelson, who's calling for it. He has to jump and dive for it. Gee whiz.
It's a bit rough.
Have to see it from the other side. A bit of a bobble was there.
Keep that tunnel clear, Cameron.
We'll get one more chance if they can hold the Sharks out.
Clock off.
That second half error count's telling,
Hold the
really.
weight.
5 against 1.
Back here. Okay, yeah, time off, mate.
Yeah, a couple of real quick ones after
Hold
half
the weight,
time
don't
that
move it. Let's go, Blake.
put the Melbourne Storm under a lot of pressure and give the Sharks an opportunity to take the 2 points. And it was a crucial 2 points for the mentality of the Sharks.
Well, the big thing for the Sharks here is their 5th tackle completion here. If they handle these 5 tackles right and then can roll it into the in goal, it's game over.
There's a couple of tackles gone. Blake Brayley away to Matt Pryor. Pappenhausen and Kafusi made the tackle. Here's Gallen. The young man stands up to the old bull and knocks him down on the 30-metre line. Chad Townsend for Andrew Fafita. They've got nowhere.
Big play here from Chad Townsend.
He's going to stab it up in the air for Morris to make a run at it. Vunivalu takes it, and he's on his own 10-metre line. A minute to go. This is it. They get one more set. Gallen makes the tackle. Smith spears it away to Munster. This is their go-to side of the field. Comes out for Hughes, who can't bust his way through. They're near the 30-metre line. How long left? 35 seconds. Cameron Munster to Smith for Croft. He's got Pappenhausen on the inside. Oh, that's taken a Shark hand. It's not going to really matter. It's all about time now. 20 seconds. Penalty, Melbourne.
Well, they'll get one go.
Yeah, by the time he finds touch, they might get... Well, they won't. I reckon they got one play. Well, this is it.
The positive is that it's shaped towards their left.
Melbourne with one chance to pluck this game out of the fire. Cameron Munster, if they wrap the ball up, it's game over. They've done it. The Sharks have won it. What an upset. They're missing internationals and origin stars. They've got a bunch of kids out there. And this is a famous win for Cronulla. 2018 over the Melbourne Storm.
And it's no fluke. They were the better side from the second half. Early on it looked a little bit dicey. They were first to score, but Melbourne quickly posted a couple to lead 12-6. Since then, the Sharks have just ground their way back into the contest, and a stirring second half performance where they totally dominated field position, dominated the play. The Storm, as they do, didn't give up. They came and got a try to make it very interesting to the final bell, but for a lot of these young Sharks players, this is a mammoth win, a mammoth confidence booster for these young players coming into this Sharks lineup. And a confidence booster for those rep players on the sideline too, to know that, you know, we're still in this competition, and gee whiz, if that's what our kids can do, we can come back and make an impact in this comp.
It's all up Cronulla here in the Shire. Sharks 20, Melbourne 18.